Well, hello and welcome to this week's video. Today, I wanted to start my mark making series and of course start a new sketchpad for myself. And as I was thinking about that, I came across another fantastic video by Jane Davies. And this technique is called transfer drawing. So I thought, wow, I should really try that because I really loved the quality of the line and what it did. So if you're interested in learning this technique, I will leave her video in the comments section below this one, but I'm just sort of learning it and trying it out with different colors. So it's a great, easy mark making process. So let's get mark making. Oh, and by the way, there it is right there. This is my art journaling table that I use, or my art journaling station. And don't forget, I have a 5-day free course that really gets you started on your own intuitive art journaling practice, which really is the backbone of this intuitive layering process that I use. So the link is in the profile page of my YouTube video and in the links below every video in the comment section. So great creating, and let's get started. Hello again and welcome to Beyond Mixed Media with Michelle Holden. And I don't know if you caught not last week's video, but the one before, where I said I was starting a whole new mark making series. Well, this is going to be the second video in that series as I continue on this journey of my own mark making. So I know out there in mark making land and mixed media, there's such a myriad of videos, and a lot of artists, the big mindset is to make your own marks. And this is so true. But how do we make the marks that are authentic to us? Do we do them fast? Do we slow down? And my belief is, yes, we really do need to slow down, be present, and just take our time, work in stillness, quiet. Maybe even you're listening to some music for inspiration. So today I thought I'm going to try something new, and I will mention the artist that inspired my idea. And I've been wanting to try this, but I'm going to try it on another piece of paper, and that is using a piece of, this is parchment paper, and a piece of newsprint paper that I'm going to paint, flip over, and mark and make all these amazing lines that pick up such a wonderful texture from the paper. And this artist, you probably know, is Jane Davies. I have learned so much from her. So I will leave that video in my video description. And if you're feeling inspired, she is, I would say, one of my mentor artists, along with a few others. So I want to start the page, though, with some first marks, because I love drawing marks. I love line. So I've selected a carpenter's pencil, a regular HB pencil. Oh, that's a 2. A 6B and a B. So they're different. This 6B is, wow, it's huge for a pencil. And that, sorry, I had to stop the video there because I have a bad cold coming and I had to cough. So I'm going to just initiate adding different pressures And going slow doesn't necessarily mean super slow motion. It's just using the tool. Now I'm going to use my opposing hand. And I love areas of some concentrated scribbles. Okay. The carpenter's pencil, even though I've carved it fairly to a point, is interesting in that one side's wide and one side's sharp. And I'm playing with horizontal, vertical differences. And in my mark-making book, I'm not only going to work on one page at a time. Some sessions will just be pencil, and I'll work through a bunch of pages. And I'm going to create with collage layers and experiment with those layers. But on the opposing side, I am going to keep track of what is working and what isn't working with my self-reflection PDF that you can get if you sign up. And of course, maybe even using the art prompts, which are available also on that same sign-up page. So, and if you are new here, welcome to the new series of mark making with me, and I hope you enjoy your own self-discovery journey of your authentic art. So I'm going to use a super sharp one, and then I really like a lot of this is going to be covered up. And then I'm going to show you another technique. Now that there's graphite line, I think I want to use a bamboo skewer, and I've used this in many different, it's in my 5-day course. If you have not signed up for it, give it a try, because it's really gets you started on your way with your own intuitive art journaling practice, which is really the backbone of my intuitive layering process. So this is thick paint. I've not used a bamboo skewer with thick paint. I'm just going to see what it does. It's not going to, and I know right away, it's not going to make the line the way a more, excuse me, fluid black would do, but that's okay, because I just wanted something different. Also, using a brayer can do that. I might like it, I might not like it, but I also love the very thin mark that it makes. So, I'm also going to use ivory black acrylic ink just with, this is very first use. So I went to the art store yesterday. So fun. And I'm just going to use the dropper. Loving that. That's just Dexter in the background. He really wants to go for a walk, but first things first. So I'm really liking these horizontal swirliness contrasting with the vertical jaggedness in this big mark. So I'm really liking what's there, and I'm going to remember to put the lid on my ink. I'm going to take a piece of newsprint, and I'm just going to not smudge those lines, but I know this will spread them out. And maybe other times I won't want them spread out like that. But then it starts initiating a really nice piece of collage that I would add more layers to and use in my work. So in this next segment, I was using the parchment with Liquid Basics acrylic on this piece of parchment and flipping it over and trying to get an interesting mark to happen. It's going through, but it isn't coming on. So it's dry. Some of the marks turned up. So parchment isn't the best, but let's try the turquoise on this newsprint, and I think it'll show up better. A little. Only a little bit. Okay. So we're not getting any kind of line. Okay. Very interesting. So I'm just going to add some more paint. And maybe it's too dry. So let's try that. I love these videos where, oh, now we've got some black happening. I love it. Because as I'm saying, you never know what's going to happen. You just need to go with it. And I'm going to put that right there. There we go. Very interesting. I don't know about the marks, but they are more dynamic. And let's put some up there. Let's go horizontal. I'm loving their quality because they're very soft. So I'm thinking the paint has to be slightly wet or it's still tacky, so you can still get the paint that you've applied on this page to go down to the other page. Okay, really liking that. Right up, right here, and we'll do a tight. There. Okay, so I really like that. I think I'm going to do one more, but I am going to add a different color. And since it's fall, I love the color combinations. And I think I might go ahead and do a few pages this way. Now that, of course, each time, I'm just going to use the page I used already. Why? Because then I will get an interesting piece of collage. And yes, it'll be slightly blue-green, but that's okay. This is another way to learn about your color mixing. Yes. I'm liking the back of this brush because it goes over the paper quite smoothly. Now, notice the lines are they're very similar. Okay. Let's even, oops, with my little brayer, add, don't want to be off camera there, and I'm really liking this collage piece as well. So since I have a lot of vertical, I want to do some horizontal right there. And I'm going to use a different tool. Actually, since this is round and thicker, okay. So now as you can see, it's building up. And the effects of the lines, they're all on the same plane. They're all the same. So I'll show you one more little technique that I would use in practice is pushing a layer, an area of this page back. So of course I love to use my color shaper for this. And when it gets a little thick, a little spritz of water. Oh, make sure it's thoroughly dry. So you got a little bit of smudging there, but that's okay. That's the ink underneath, reacting with the spray of the water. Okay. And then a cleaner white and a very thin. This is the fluid, Liquitex fluid. I think is going to end up working the best because I can push back without, yes. So it's matching more the paper. And say if you didn't like the big dark shapes so much, so I can make them, just push them back a little bit. So this is sort of a square shape happening. So I really don't want that, but I love my yellow oxide. That's the color. Okay. When I have a layer of opaque paint there, I like to emulate the same energy and score through it with my awl. So now all the sameness will change once I add another layer or two with collage and then go over that. So it's a back and forth play, and then I might even get my art prompts out to then, okay, I don't know, to help me make a decision. I really don't like to overthink at any point. So that's when I would get the art prompts out. Say, make a horizontal line. Okay, well then I'm going to emulate what's there. And now we've got some big black, thicker line, a shape or a heavy line in the background. Now we have it on this layer. And this is how your layers can build. Okay. I am going to leave that. So that is just a great fun way to use paint on a newsprint, making line, and inspired by watching a Jane Davies video, but yet doing it in my own way. So I found out the parchment paper doesn't really work that well, while the newsprint paper did, and then pushing back layers. So you can start many journal pages that way, and you might even consider leaving more empty space just to, but I was just filling up the page for you to see, and I will give you a little close-up. Lots of wonderful marks. And I'm loving the edges. I'm loving the quality of line that this technique leaves. So I'll see you in the 5-day course. Don't forget to give it a try. It'll really get you started on your way to intuitive art journaling, your own practice. You can start your own sketch pad of mark making. This is the Canson Watercolour 9x12, or anything that you already have. Scrap pieces of paper, anything. And the 5-day free course has its own private Facebook group where I am having 2 monthly Zoom meetings with some art prompts that we'll practice on, some techniques, and then we come back and we discuss how it's working. So there's a lot of support for you there. So I will see you in the next video, and happy creating.